right. So, as um, as usual, if you have any questions, please feel free to post your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them either during or at the end of the live stream. So, welcome to the NFT market health and analysis by me, Daniel Tenner, aka Swombat, where I look at these volume charts and maybe some other charts about the market health, and I try to figure out what's going on. Are we in a bull? Are we in a bear? Are we recovering from a bull or from a bear to a bull? Like what the hell is going on? Rather than just the feeling and the vibes on Twitter, which don't always give you the right answer. So let's get started. So if we look at the charts here, we have the short-term chart as usual. We can see that the top 10 looks like it's, doing a little bit better than before. So like, it was slowing down its downtrend there, and it's now kind of maybe moving back slightly up, forming higher lows and higher highs. We'll see. Bear in mind, this is a volume chart rather than a price chart. And even if it's sort of hanging at this level is a very low volume level. We will get back to that a bit later. We can see Zeneca Old is after, this was basically the scare where there was the security issue here as well. It's now recovered in this kind of sideways trend that it was in. Similarly for Zeneca New, although with a few more spikes of volume here and there. And unfortunately, the women-led projects is continuing to downtrend. So if we just look at the stacked bar chart, just so we see the underlying data, we can see that there's been again this pattern of 3 days with slightly higher volumes, and then 1 day with the three 6-hour chunks with slightly higher volumes, and then 1 6-hour chunk with lower volumes. It seems like the one just before I do my update is the one that traditionally wants to be lower, because it was low. It's lower here. It was lower here. It was lower here. 1, 2, 3. It was lower here. 1, 2, 3 is lower here. 1, 2, 3 is lower here. 1, 2. Well, there was one that was even lower right afterwards. So not a very long-running trend, but it does seem to happen from time to time, and it certainly seems to be happening right now. That basically, in the last 6 hours, which is basically the night time in the US, there's less volume happening in the NFT markets, which it is what it is. Well, that's why we look at this kind of moving average rather than just at this chart, which is otherwise very jagged and give us false signals. But it's good to see that, yeah, so previously we were seeing mostly like a lot of volumes at this very low level. Now most of the volume bars are here above 32, which is not very high because this is across 10 projects, but it's better than it was before, basically. And we can see that reflected in the health index. As I said, we may be forming lower, higher lows. If this bounces back up, if this is indeed just a 6-hour chunk where it is low, and then the next ones are back up here, then we will have formed a higher low. Maybe we'll be trending sideways, or maybe we'll just slowly trend upwards. My hope is that we start trending upwards, but we'll see. If we do, my expectation is that it will start with this top 10 index, and then it will spread to the other indices. But again, we'll see. We don't know that, and nobody really knows what's going to happen. The Zeneca Old and Zeneca New charts, as I said at the beginning, are fairly similar. We've got this kind of fairly clear sideways trend there in the Zeneca Old, which was only broken by the security scare, which led to all the delisting. It's now gone back, it seems, to its sideways trend. Like, you could almost draw a straight line there and touch like most of those points. So it seems fairly solid apart from the security scare there. Seneca New is slightly less clear, but yeah, I mean, if we look at this, we can also see a kind of like it seems to have bottomed out there. It doesn't seem to be trending down anymore, though. Like I don't know, this could also still collapse further down. But maybe we're just catching it at a bad moment, and it's about to bounce back up and form a higher low. We'll see that tomorrow, I guess. Finally, the women-led projects, that one is still just slowly trending down, forming lower lows. So volumes continue to decrease there. It's worth noting that in all these cases, so the top 10 here, and there's an echo hold here, we're at very low levels of volume. So even if there is a slight bounce up and we start trending up, it's going to take a while. I mean, it can go very quickly, but as long as we're hanging at these kind of levels, prices from experience will largely be going down. So that should be an expectation. So don't be surprised if even a really good project that you think is really valuable is going down. Like personally, I'm holding how many 11 crypto covens, and they've gone down from a high of 3 to, I think yesterday they dipped to 1.2 at one point. And so that's not that's surprising in context, given the market is doing this. I would expect that the solid projects, once the bull market comes back, will recover and start going up. A way to look at this is that from an investor or trader perspective, this is a buying opportunity to get into those projects. The counterpoint of that is that we don't know how long this bear market lasts. If we look at the top 10 here, for example, there it was, apart from this Jimmy Fallon pump, which was a bit of an aberration, it was basically like 3 months of low volumes. We could have 3 months of low volumes, or we could be starting to see a rise up again already. In the case of the last bear market back in October and November, it started going back up in mid-December. And then it went back up quite markedly here, and then that followed in the other indices. Finally, let's look at the crypto context. Well, Ethereum and Bitcoin are so bouncing up in a very measured and reasonable and not too exciting way, which is good. If they were pumping heavily, we would see the impact on the NFT market with volumes drying up even further, if that's even possible. So yeah, it's let's hope it continues to trend at whatever level it picks. Basically, what we want to see in Ethereum in order to have a healthy NFT market is for it to stay at roughly whatever price it picks, whether that's 2.7K or 3.5K or 4.5K or even 2K. Whatever level it picks, if it stays there for a while, that's good for the NFT market. I mean, if you think back to August, which was, well, August was trending around here, around 3K. But even there, like, so the whole summer was a kind of bull market for NFTs, and yet this is what Ethereum was doing in that period. So the more Ethereum is uninteresting, the better NFTs tend to do. Let's hope Ethereum continues to be very boring. That's the best case scenario for NFTs, I think. Thanks for dialing in. We'll see whether this actually does form a higher low. I think it's going to take a couple of days to have another spike up and then spike down for us to see if the next one is actually higher, or if it continues. Like, we might see by tomorrow that actually it continues going down and then goes back up and it's trending sideways. So we'll see over the next couple of days whether this is an uptrend, an actual uptrend, or a downtrend. But right now it seems plausible that we're in an uptrend. So let's check in tomorrow. Look forward to seeing you. Well, I'm not seeing you, but you will see me tomorrow. So look forward to being seen by you tomorrow, and take care. Have a lovely day and good luck.